Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Unsolved Mysteries Explained. And today we're diving into a mysterious and captivating Japanese urban legend, the Kisaragi Station incident. This story not only sparked widespread attention across Japanese online communities, but also became a favorite topic among urban legend enthusiasts. What exactly is Kisaragi Station? Is there something inexplicable hidden behind it? Let's find out. Hasumi claimed to have arrived at a mysterious station called Kisaragi, which could not be found on any map. In her posts, Hasumi detailed the entire experience, from boarding the train to arriving at this unfamiliar station, where there were no other passengers and no station staff. The station was eerily quiet and isolated. When she tried to contact her family and friends, the signal was weak and intermittent, so she turned to the forum for help. All of this happened within a few hours. Kisaragi Station became widely known because there is no record of this station in any of Japan's maps or station lists. As Hasumi's description continued to unfold on the forum, the story's eerie nature intensified, eventually turning Kisaragi Station into one of Japan's most talked about urban legends. The story of Kisaragi Station first emerged in 2004 when a Japanese netizen named Hasumi posted on the 2HH forum, describing her strange experience during a train ride home. The 2H forum, 2H, or Nai Channel, short for Nai Chanaru, is one of Japan's largest and most influential online forums. It was founded in 1999 by Hiroyuki Nishimura and quickly became a hub for all sorts of discussions. Everything from technology and pop culture to conspiracy theories and urban legends. As Hasumi sat on the train that night, everything seemed normal at first. She was tired, just wanting to get home after a long day. But as the train continued to move, she noticed something unusual. The ride was taking much longer than usual. The train seemed to be moving through an endless tunnel, and with each passing minute, her anxiety grew. She looked around at the other passengers, but to her surprise, she realized she was the only one left in the car. Finally, the train slowed down and came to a stop. Hasumi expected to see her usual station, but instead, she was greeted by a sign that read, Ru Yueyi, Kisaragi Station. The name was unfamiliar, and a strange unease settled over her. Despite the oddity, she decided to get off the train, thinking she could at least ask someone where she was. But as soon as she stepped onto the platform, Hasumi knew something was terribly wrong. The station was eerily silent, with no signs of life, no other passengers, no station staff, not even the usual hum of distant city sounds. The platform itself was old and worn, as if it hadn't been used in years. She looked around, but the surroundings were unfamiliar. It was as though she had stepped into a place that time had forgotten. Hasumi's first instinct was to check her phone. Maybe she could call her family or friends to pick her up. But when she pulled out her phone, she saw that her battery was nearly dead, and the signal was weak. Desperately, she tried to make a call, but the connection kept cutting out. She managed to send a few messages asking if anyone knew where Kisaragi Station was, but the responses she received only added to her confusion. No one had ever heard of such a place. Feeling increasingly uneasy, Hasumi decided to leave the station and find a taxi. But when she reached the exit, she was met with another unsettling sight. The station was surrounded by nothing but wilderness. There were no roads, no buildings, no lights in the distance, just a dense forest that seemed to stretch on forever. The cold night air bit at her skin as she stood there, feeling more isolated than ever before. Determined to get out of there, she ventured back into the station, hoping to find some clue or perhaps wait for another train. But as she walked back to the platform, she began hearing strange noises, faint, almost imperceptible at first, but growing louder with each step. It sounded like footsteps echoing through the empty station. Her heart raced as she looked around, but there was no one there. Panic set in. Hasumi quickly typed out messages on the 2i forum, explaining her situation to anyone who would listen. She described the strange sounds, the desolate surroundings, and her growing fear that something was watching her. Forum users urged her to stay calm, to look for any signs or clues, but Hasumi's posts became more frantic. She mentioned seeing shadowy figures in the distance, moving just beyond her line of sight. As time passed, her situation grew more dire. Hasumi's messages became shorter, more disjointed, as if she was struggling to keep her composure. "I can't stay here," she wrote. "There's something wrong with this place." And then suddenly, her messages stopped. Despite the forum users' desperate attempts to reach out, there was no further communication from Hasumi. She vanished without a trace, leaving only her cryptic posts behind. No one knows what happened to her after that final message, and Kisaragi Station remains a haunting mystery, a place that exists outside the boundaries of our known world, where those who enter may never return. Hasumi's detailed account of her encounter at Kisaragi Station leaves us with countless questions. Did she truly step into another dimension, one where time and space behave differently? Was she the victim of a supernatural phenomenon, or was this all an elaborate fiction designed to send chills down our spines? Some users speculated that Kisaragi Station might be a metaphorical place, a representation of the liminal space between life and death, where spirits wander and time has no meaning. Others suggested that Hasumi might have encountered a yuri, or ghost, entities believed in Japanese folklore to exist in places where tragedy has occurred. But the most unsettling theory is that Kisaragi Station is a real place, existing somewhere between our reality and another. A place that, once entered, offers no way out.